Hi there crafters, Louise with you today, sharing my final layout for the October kit, and this one was a huge labour of love. So I decide with this heart background that straight away it's far too busy for me, so I need to cut it in half. I'm going to use half the heart, and I think about what I want to do on the other half. I definitely want to add some of the coordinating colours, but in what form I'm not sure. So firstly I pick out some colours, and this is from a previous kit in terms of the Vicky Bouton pens, which I've had in my stash for a little while, but I love the colours and they're so easy to use because they're already in pen format, so you can just draw with them. Here's where we start to have a play with that colour on the right hand side, and the first heart looks great. I'm thinking, oh yeah, this is really going to work, I love this. And then the second heart kind of gets a bit messy and it starts to blend in with the first heart, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm not loving this. It's not really going in that same direction as what I thought it would in my head. So yeah, I improvise and I end up completing the hearts. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to try and keep the colours as close to the hearts on the left hand side as I can, but I'm not really loving how these hearts are looking on their own. So they definitely need something to bring this layout together. So as I progress, I let it dry, have a think about it, I build some layers, I think about it some more, I toy with the idea of completely scrapping the heart background idea. But it's as I start to think a little bit more about it, I think, okay, what about stitching? So I thought about using my machine to stitch the hearts together. So actually join the right hand heart with the left hand heart by stitching in a heart shape. But I put it aside again and I thought about it some more and then decided that hand stitching on that right hand side would be the way to go. Now, I stabbed holes in it before I actually decided what sort of stitching I wanted to do. So I had these holes marked and still really had no concept of how this layout was going to go. So I ended up doing a variety of stitching, all different sorts. So you can see that there is, plain stitching, there's cross stitching, there's textured stitching, all different sorts of things in different colors of twine. And I'm really much happier with how this has come out. So it was definitely a labor of love. The stitching by hand took me a good day to complete. I just sat in front of the TV on like a Saturday and binge watched something on Netflix. I can't even remember, but it allowed me to get that stitching done. And I'm super happy with how this turned out. I was worried because I thought this is not going to be something that I'm going to like, but I love the way that the heart on the left coordinates with the heart on the right and the stitching brings it all together. It adds that texture and that area of interest. So now that I've had a bit of a play around with how I think this layout's going to look, I'm going to add some foam on the back of my elements again, just to help lift them and separate them from that background. And I've got the sort of the top right of the heart and the bottom right of the heart to form my visual triangle with those embellishments. And they were getting a little bit lost with all that extra stitching. So I decided to pull out my cotton and just make a little bit of a cotton tangle mess and to pop that behind those embellishments and keep that as my finishing touch. So adding a title, these super shiny stickers are great fun because they're circular, so I love the way they sort of have those softer edges than those straight letters do. But I think compared to how this started and the layout that I ended up with, I'm super happy with this and so glad that it all worked out in the end. So thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please, of course, if you haven't already, subscribe and check out Kitaholic Kits.